What do you think?
What do I think?
Are we close enough?
We're ready. Hello, everybody. This is, move the microphone.
Oh, I didn't realize that red light was on.
Yeah. You didn't know it was on?
No, I didn't know we were all set to go. That's good.
Remember, your voice is you want to whisper.
Okay.
Hello again. This is Bob Morin.
And Mary Ann Morin.
And this is the More Stuff Show.
Hi, everybody.
Today's topic is...
I'm all ears.
I left the magazines home I wanted to talk about.
Oh.
There are a couple articles that I wanted to talk about, and I was going to read. Got my glasses ready.
You were so sad.
I was going to read part of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, can you remember, or?
Yeah, I can pretty much remember, but I don't know. One of the articles in Wired magazine, which is a monthly magazine that we both subscribe to.
That he reads. Mm-hmm. You read it. You actually read it.
Well, I want to explain that we both subscribe to.
Yes, yes.
Do you understand what that means? I have a subscription, and Mary Ann has a subscription. So every month we receive 2 copies.
Imagine, it must be a wonderful magazine.
I think what happens when you start to run out, when your subscription starts to run out, they send you a warning.
Mm-hmm.
They send you a warning like 3 months ahead of time. Then they send you another one 2 months ahead of time. And then they send you one that says this is your last issue.
Yeah, they do.
I think what happened, either you or I renewed twice. I might have renewed once and you renewed once. But wait a minute. You had to renew once.
It was in my name.
Because it was in your name.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? My name doesn't matter.
It means that you subscribed to a magazine that I was already getting. By accident.
Does it mean that we also paid the fee for both?
Yeah,
times?
I always pay right away.
Double paid. Well, of course, I have no memory of that. Of course.
Of sending for a subscription?
Yeah.
Well, we got 2 copies. One goes unread. One copy goes unread.
Unpackaged. It's
Unpackaged.
It's going to be very valuable in about 100 years.
Yes.
It's completely wrapped up.
You might be able to sell them now at a rummage sale.
Ah.
Well, anyway, what are we talking about?
Today's topic is some article
Something
in
I
Wired
read
magazine.
in Wired magazine.
Yes.
Remember we were talking about RFID?
Let me try to remember.
RFID, radio frequency identification.
Yes. Yes.
These are little chips that help identify where an object is. Like if you're in a big retail store, you can have little tags on all your items so you can keep track of your inventory electronically, wirelessly.
We were talking about the pros and the cons.
The pros and the cons, whether it was infringing on your privacy. Well, this has something to do with keeping track of children in an amusement park.
Oh boy, that's a good one. I'm improving so far.
And there is this, I can't think of the name of the park, because if I had the magazine here, I could read it.
Oh.
But there's a park in Denmark. It's a very large, like a Disneyland type amusement park, many, many acres.
In Denmark.
And what they do there is every kid that goes into the park, they put a little electronic wristband. And that keeps track of wherever the kid goes. So that if he's separated from the parents,
Lost.
lost,
Can't find the little kid.
you can find him with this thing because there's a grid of the entire park on their computers, and they can keep track of where everybody is. So they'll just punch in the number of the kid, whatever the number is on his wristband, and they'll be able to find him where he is anywhere in the park.
It's kind of a good
Yeah.
thing. It's not a completely safe thing. I mean, it's if you wanted to stop the communications, you could cut off the wristband.
Yes.
Some bad guy could cut it off
Yeah.
and run away.
Now this is only good within the boundaries of the park.
Yeah, I understand. I know. Yeah.
Because you have to have sensors that pick up this wrist thing. And outside the park, there aren't any sensors. They're just sensors within the radius of the park.
Wow.
Well, that's controversial.
I can't tell you how many times when my 6 kids were young and we were at a mall and they'd be having a lark of a time going everywhere. I'd be standing there in the aisle looking for every one of them and never get anything done. Just looking.
Because you were worried about
Wandering
your kids.
around looking for my kids.
And if they had such a thing at the Arnett Mall, you could just put a band, electronic band on their wrist, and then you wouldn't worry where they were.
Right. I'd go into the main office with my 6 numbers.
And
Committed to memory.
can you find number 884432
Yeah. Where
for me,
is that
please?
person right now?
And they would look up on their computer and they say, okay, they're in one of the stores there.
Of course, these days, they have cell phones, we have cell phones, we just call them. Where are you?
But this is for little kids.
Yeah, the little ones.
I know.
Well, hey, I approve. I'm
Yeah.
not against that idea.
You're not against that idea, no.
No, not against it.
But remember the illusion of privacy? It's an illusion. Well, we got to think of something else to talk about.
Well, there's so much.
You're prepared often. Do you have any hidden slips of paper?
No, I do not.
Studies
No, I
that
read
you
a
did?
book. I read a book called Pompeii.
Oh, good. Thank
Talk
God.
about the book called Pompeii.
Let's talk about the book you read.
Yeah, don't ask me the author's name.
But it's about Pompeii.
Yes, and we all know that that's where Mount Vesuvius.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute now. We don't all know.
Okay, well then let's review.
Because I used to teach in this district. And you would make assumptions that people know things.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't really.
That's probably your subject area, too.
Pompeii.
Did you cover Pompeii? Like Mount Vesuvius
No,
did?
but I did not. I talked about it. I don't know if I covered it. Tell us about what is Pompeii. I'm going to put these down.
In ancient times,
In ancient times, there's a song named.
times of the Romans, actually. The Romans.
Now, the Romans are a long time.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is one of their times.
Okay.
In their time frame. The Romans built aqueducts for the people to get water.
Right.
And there was this place, was it in Italy? Where was Mount Vesuvius?
Italy.
In Italy.
Yes, on the east coast.
Nice mountain there, and it erupted during Roman times. And the lava and the poisonous gas and the pumice that came out of the mountain completely covered and destroyed this
Killed
place
everybody.
called Pompeii.
Just like Mount St. Helena.
Yes. Well,
Those volcanoes, they erupt. They're big things.
they do.
Hundreds of square miles.
And hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years later, archaeologists dug up and discovered Pompeii.
So is this book about anthropology, something like that?
This book is a fictitious novel.
Fictitious, is it controversial?
Something like the Da Vinci Code is a fictitious novel.
You shouldn't talk about the Da Vinci Code.
Well, this Pompeii book
Pompeii.
tells the story. Of course, who would know this story? That's true.
Who would know the Pompeii
There is
story?
no one alive, and hasn't been for thousands of years.
Wait a minute.
Who knows
Are
really
you
what
saying that nobody knows about Pompeii?
Well, they don't know exactly the story individual by individual. what happened.
They don't know a lot of personal histories
Right,
of
they
the
don't know
people
the
who
personal
lived in
story.
Pompeii.
So this book made up vignettes of people's lives.
It's a fictitious
Could
novel.
have been,
Could have been
yeah.
stuff that went on
Yes.
before the eruption.
Now, the author of the book went to the library in London and got a hold of many of ancient books. Stories by ancient philosophers, stories by historians,
Mhm.
and he pieced together this scenario of a story called Pompeii.
So that's what a lot of writers do. They mix in some real history and put in some stories
Yeah.
in there, so that it might apply to the real history.
An element of truth. And of course, one thing that does occur in the book is Mount Vesuvius
Yeah, well, that's real.
erupts.
And you knew that they had like things like the trade. They had a navy, and probably had a military, and they probably had
Very, very wealthy and corrupt.
and that's,
politicians.
Yeah, just like everywhere.
And they had slaves.
Right.
And they had an aqueduct that led, that in this book's premise is that when the water started smelling like sulfur and fish started dying in their fisheries.
That would be a sure sign if the water starts smelling like sulfur.
Something's up.
Right.
So they send this man all the way from Caesar, sends this young man who is a Roman, and he comes to inspect the aqueduct.
He's like a geologist,
Yes,
a Roman geologist.
He's an aqueductist.
He got his doctorate in water.
An aqua.
He majored in water at Rome University.
So anyway,
He's a water major.
what he does is the book tells about his discovery and his, trying to make some sense into something that didn't make any sense.
Why is the water
Mountain
sulfury? Smells like rotten eggs.
It's cracking up. It's breaking up. It's things are happening that
The aqueduct is falling
no
apart.
one knows could happen.
What do you mean? Like
The aqueduct became blocked,
Oh yes,
and
a lot of
water
sulfur.
was not getting through.
Okay, so they sent the water expert.
He went underground. He checked it out.
He went underground.
He went underground and checked it out until
How did he go underground?
he
Were there caverns there?
figured out where the block was, and he traveled to that place with mules and a bunch of people to help him dig. And then he dug a big hole, went down underneath.
Well, now you're going to tell us the whole. This is a big
You don't want to hear it
long,
all, but
big long story. What happens at the end?
well, the essence of this story is that everybody, rich and poor, scholars, worthy people, corrupt people, fat, skinny women, men, slaves, were all completely killed.
Everybody dies.
They die. They all die.
That's a lesson. Because you told me that. We went for a walk this morning in the woods, and Mary Ann told me that the punchline, that in the end everybody dies. So what's the big deal?
What I said was nature
Yeah,
trumped
nature trumps all our wonderful,
man.
complex ideas and plans and political schemes and economic schemes and our dreams and our romances. We're all going to die.
Well, and there was
So
nothing anybody could do
Right.
to stop it. Remind me of hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
Reminded me of disasters of nature. Hurricanes.
Well,
It also reminded me that people who stand on a bandwagon, do they call them?
a what?
A bandwagon.
A bandwagon.
Have a speech. Have a side.
Come on, join me.
Cry the alarm. It's the end of the world. And if you are against or for a certain thing, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, if you're a Democrat or a Republican,
Republicans, that'd be
we're against you.
Yeah, right,
Oh.
left, conservative, liberal.
Rich, poor.
Everybody has an
If you're
opinion.
on welfare or if you're rich, you got all kinds of reason to hate each other.
And one day it'll all be covered with rocks and dirt.
Right.
Be
And
all
we
gone.
talked on the show about the end of the world before. Could be a volcano.
It sure was the end of the world to the people of Pompeii. Yeah.
Could be. Any day now, the water might start to taste sulfury.
Watch out.
And when that happens, got to put aside all that
Clear sign.
pettiness.
And love one another. Yeah.
All right, I think, I don't know, did we use enough time yet?
Perhaps.
Well, that's it. Now, we're going to take a break now, and while we're taking a break, we're going to think of something to say on the next show.
All right.
So stay tuned next time.
Bye.
God bless you. Bye-bye.